The Nihility and Dream Tempest trials is finally coming to a close, no new phases from Book 4, and Ganugagap is back for Round 2. If you score the maximum 50,000 points, you can earn up to 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 sacred coins. This month we got Ephemerate 12 divine codes, plus an Anima and Dark Blessing for Mythic Golvig and Kvasir. For Sacred Seals, we got Odd Res Wave and freaking Special Fighter. The reward unit for this year is going to be Winter Claude, the Golden Reindeer. You can earn a 4-star and 5-star copy of him, and we'll talk about him more later on. For Sacred Seals, Odd Res Wave 3 states, at start of odd turns, grants plus 6 res field buffs to the user and adjacent allies for 1 turn. A self and ally buffing skill, it's only going to work every other turn though. Wave buffs are a bit dated to say the least, and even Res Wave released as a Sacred Seal 4 years ago. We haven't even gotten any tier 4 iterations, but if we ever do, then you could pair Odd Res Wave with its Even Res C-Skill counterpart. If you really need field buffs in the seal slot, there are other options that work every turn, including Res Opening, which can buff an ally. I believe Odd Res Wave is also the last wave Sacred Seal needed to be added, so we can finally move on from this dated skill line. Next up, a skill that is wild to see as a Sacred Seal. Special Fighter 3 came on a Heroic Grail unit earlier this year, and now it's a Sacred Seal. At start of combat, if above 50% HP, you get Breath type cooldown reduction and Guard. Special Fighter dominated for a long while just because there was not many ways to stop it. Even to this day, slaying bonfire counterattacks are powerful, so not bringing Guard just leaves you open to big special retaliations. Instead of Breath Sacred Seals, armors now get to run Special Fighter. The cooldown works on the player phase, and you get Guard. That lets you replace the usual tier 3 dual stance A skills with something else like Unity or maybe just Distant and Close Counter. Usable by all army units, even healers if you so desire. A fun combo can be Special Fighter with Special Spiral 4 for DR Piercing. You could go for Hardy Fighter to recharge those defensive specials. Even though Vengeful Fighter 4 has cooldown built in, that may not be the case for other tier 4 fighter upgrades. We did just get Wary Fighter 4 if you want a lot of damage reduction. Overall, excellent Sacred Seal. Like Bold Fighter, kinda just an absurd thought that this is happening if you were playing during the heyday of these skills. Last Sacred Seal I want to talk about is from this update's Squad Assault. Squad A's BY3 has something new for us, grants attack, speed, and defense plus 3. I believe the first ever triple flat stat booster, not including HP. Not many units need all these flat stats, so you could instead run the previous Squad A seals that boost 2 flat stats with plus 5 HP. Obviously for pure physical tanking, plus 3 defense may be more valuable over more hits, but for general usage, the plus 5 HP will affect physical and magical hits. If you don't have many sacred coins, I do think the HP plus double stat seals are better all around upgrades since you can just flex those seals to whoever. I assume we're just going to go around the whole selection of 3 stat variations for these new batch of Squad A seals.
Winter Festulations! Wait, that doesn't sound right, does it? What do I want? Well, it's not something you can put in a box and wrap with a bow.
It would appear Claude time is not over just yet. Before 2023 ends, our last Tempest unit for the year is Winter Claude. The Golden Reindeer is a colorless armored archer this time, the 3rd member of the house so far. For stats, Claude has 41 HP, 43 attack, 46 speed, 32 defense, and 34 res. Attack and speed super boons means Claude takes throne for fastest Heroic Grail units. Sorry, Shez. In general, Claude is also one of the fastest armors in the game, and I'm pretty sure he's the fastest free-to-play archer as well. Kinda crazy. For his weapon, Claude has the Golden Yo Bow Plus. I'm actually amazed he did not get a unique weapon, but this inheritable is quite spicy. At start of combat, if above 25% HP, grants plus 4 to all stats and an extra plus X. Also, you get special cooldown count minus X to unit before their first attack in combat. X is going to be equal to the distance moved of whoever initiated combat, max of 3 spaces. If a penalty is active on the foe, then X automatically equals 3. Now, Claude is not being left out of the special cooldown party. Like his Wind Tribe ult and the Winter Banner house leaders, Claude can get 3 cooldown for his first attack. This means instant Deadeye procs for any archer. The catch is that the cooldown is based on the clash condition, so whoever initiates must move 3 spaces for instant Deadeye. That's a bit tough for a 1 movement Claude, and ranged armors cannot run Assault Troop like a certain Black Eagle. The clash condition does include warp movement though, so if you Wings of Mercy from across the map, you can get minus 3 cooldown. However, the other way to do it is by attacking a foe with any kind of penalty. This time we do count field debuffs, but any negative statuses will count. In addition to cooldown reduction, this weapon grants a general stat boost. If you get that -3 cooldown, you actually get +7 to all stats, with a stat refine that's good for +9 speed or +10 defense or res. This active penalty condition does give Golden Yield Bow some consistency. Otherwise, for aggressive use, you're going to probably want an archer who can move more than one space. Now, it's not as fancy as Ninja Saizo, but Winter Claude is still a Claude ult, meaning he still has his signature arrow flip on a special trigger, even throws in a little cheeky salute this time. Claude's weapon is the most interesting part about him. His base kit is just okay. For his special, you got Soul for healing, attack and speed form 3 is on a couple other free-to-play units, decent stat boost if you got lots of nearby allies. As for chill attack and speed 2, first time it's on a non-5-star unit. There is no tier 3 version yet, but if it happens, then honestly, it's not a bad debuff support option. For the most part, this kit though wants Claude to stay near his friends, tank a hit, then get lots of cooldown to instantly proc soul on his counter. Alternatively, if the foe is hit by the chill debuffs, Golden Yield Bow will gain -3 cooldown as well. Not useful if Claude is at full HP, but you can swap soul out to any damage special. For those merging up Claude, then the neutral nature will add +1 HP attack and defense. That's alright, but those juicy attack and speed super boons may be worth your trade fruits. I assume we're going to see a whole lot of +10 Claudes because, well, it's freaking Claude. If you didn't see it, we recently went over 166 for Grail units up to book 7. So much data input, but this is a lot more manageable. For some comparisons, this is almost all the armored archers in the game. We're only missing Valentine's Fae and the OG Halloween Jacob. They're on the slower side, but if you want a modern slow archer, then 4-star focus Winter Annette is it. She should be coming back real soon as well. Among speedy archers, our 2 heroic grow options, Winter Ignatz and Felix, are both up there. They have higher defensive stats while Claude is going full offense. The previous fastest armored archer was duo Winter Marth. It is worth noting that he already received his refine, and it includes speed preempt with enemy phase desperation. Something I did not really know off the top of my head is that while Claude can use speed preempt himself, there's a stipulation that says it does not work if savior triggers. Duo Marth does not have that issue. Overall, Winter Claude will cement himself as the new top dog for speedy archers, just without a unique bow. The last armored archer was Winter Annette last December. Before that, it was Winter Ignatz the year before. What I'm trying to say is that we do not get units in this class type very often, so Claude probably won't face much, if any, competition. For general playstyle, Claude wants debuffs or status effects on the enemy. That's going to guarantee he gets -3 cooldown plus those nice +7 to all stats. I think the idea of his base kit is to tank a hit, immediately reply with soul to heal back up. Chill attack and speed 2 will debuff at least one enemy, but obviously you want more coverage for consistency. You could use a smoke debuff for later fights. If you want damage, Claude can swap over to 3 cooldown Luna. You could also give him armored boots or armor march for 2 movement. If the enemy isn't debuffed, moving 2 spaces will only give 2 cooldown, but if Claude can double with his high speed, then you can get that special proc on their follow-up. If no guard is involved, you could actually proc 4 cooldown specials. For some follow-up and cooldown insurance, you could use Bold Fighter. We have had 4 Ephemer manuals with the skill, so if you still have those, it could be a very fun budget B skill. Otherwise, you can slot it in the Sacred Seal slot. However, that's going to take up your movement boots. To bypass the low mobility of armors, Wings of Mercy can let Claude warp 3 or more spaces, and that's going to give him that -3 cooldown instantly. The fact any archer can now Wings of Mercy warp from anywhere and then drop Deadeye or Luna immediately is kind of wild. For premium builds, I have a few setups I want to talk about. First off, speed preempt. With Golden Yield Bow, if you get the -3 cooldown, you can Vanish cheese ranged attackers with DR piercing Deadeye. The only issue is you need to win a speed check, and that is almost unpredictable nowadays. Basically, you're gonna want to go full speed stacking with support, and ideally you set up penalties on the foe in case they don't move 3 spaces. The issue, as mentioned before, is that speed preempt doesn't trigger with savior. You can use regular Vanish 3, but you're gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops to set up, plus Golden Yield Bow has a 25 HP condition. If you aren't using a savior, you can instead use something like Menace or Armor March. Claude gets to set up his own debuffs, so on the player phase, he can still proc instant Deadeye. Now, if you want to do a far safe build, Claude could try it for a Savvy Fighter route. You get full enough follow-up with % damage reduction if you win a speed check. The skill does give you some leeway. With Golden Yield Bow, Claude can proc Deadeye even if the foe brings guard, assuming you get that 3 cooldown. With Brave Robin's Rally Spectrum, you could proc Aether for some hilarious healing. If you want more % DR versus a special, you can bring Armored Flow or Beacon. Speaking of which, Arcane Nastron can be a better generalist choice for savior builds. It gives another 30% DR to stack with, and it grants bonus attack. With Sling, you can run the new Special Fighter Sacred Seals and still charge Deadeye or Armored Flow and Beacon in one action. You can get Guard, so you run a non-stats A skill, and since Arcane Nastron boosts attack, you could maybe swap to Speed and Defense or Speed and Res skills. Claude is not the tankiest armor stat-wise, and everyone is bringing damage reduction piercing nowadays. It's gonna be rough out there, to be honest. Now, one benefit of Arcane Nastron is that its follow-up attack can let Claude counter follow-up denial on the player phase. That's an issue because Savvy Fighter is enemy phase only. This is where our final build can fill some holes. I saw mention of this and it really piqued my interest because it's very out of the box. First off, White Wind Bow Plus is from Wind Tribe Catria. She's a 4-star focused banner unit. This weapon grants the user no follow-up and no panic as statuses. It then has uncapped attack and speed scaling based on the number of positive statuses on your user and the negative statuses on the foe. With the no follow-up status, Claude could counteract the follow-up penalty from the new Weaving Fighter. This means he can double if he outspeeds. You then have defense and no follow-up with follow-up denial. That means only enemies who outspeed with offense and no follow-up are just going to double Claude. If he gets doubled, Weaving Fighter's 80% damage reduction kicks in for the first hits. Otherwise, Claude has 40% DR for all other attacks. Add Special Fighter for cooldown and guard. If the foe can charge a special, then Armored Flow or Beacon has its unpierceable 40% damage reduction. The downsides to this setup is that you need 2 actions to charge Armored Flow, and you won't have DR piercing via Deadeye. However, this build has some countermeasures for getting outsped, which Savvy Fighter lacks. It also works on either phase. You want to run Savior? That's fine. You want to use Armor March for 2 movement? Then go ahead. White Wind Bow also grants 2 status effects, so if you want to channel some of that Wind Tribe Claude energy, then you can try to go for Prime 4 for close counter. The main combo of White Wind Bow, Weaving Fighter, and Special Fighter means you have full follow-up if you outspeed, follow-up denial, guard, and breath-type cooldown. Weaving adds healing and at least 40% DR for all hits, even against brave attacks, and Armored Flow and Beacon have unpierceable damage reduction. More tempo effects is probably the reason they felt Special Fighter was fine to release as a Sacred Seal, but together they are pretty nasty. I don't really talk about it enough, but tempo support does exist. Coincidentally, it's on Claude's Teach. Legendary Female Bonnet has a drive tempo buff. It's the literal hard counter to Special Fighter, but you pair it with it and you force the enemy to have no guard or you do not charge special at all. Ironically, the entire 3 Houses Winter lineup, including Claude, bypasses this defense. Something power creep. Alright, for some final build talk, if you really want to player phase, Arcane Dark Bow is fine, you get Desperation. For a classic setup, you can throw back to the old Brave Bow Bold Fighter Quad Assault. Additionally, you can use Guidance 4 flyers to gain offense and a follow-up. That could be double fun with Golden Bow since the warp counts for the cooldown. It's also another way to bypass Weaving Fighter's follow-up penalty. This is definitely a solid Tempest Trials all around. Special Fighter as a Secret Seal would make someone lose their mind like 4 years ago, and even now it's an incredible tool. It gives ranged armors like Claude breath-type cooldown access, and you can combo it with another Fighter B skill. As for Winter Claude himself, he could be not great, and people would still plus 10 him. It's Claude. We're going to see a lot of plus 10 projects, I'm sure. Thankfully, he's got great offensive stats, and you can do some funky things since he's an armor unit. I would not really expect him to tank all the crazy units out there, but Golden Bow can let Claude check them since he can instantly charge Deadeye. Be very careful if you see this weapon on a speed preempt or Vantage user. Honestly, I think it's another great inheritable like Whitecap, the Ninja Brave Bows, or even Catra's White Wind Bow. A lot of fun builds are possible, including stuff like Luna with Special Sparrow 4, or double 2 cooldown special procs in 1 round, the aforementioned Vantage Cheese. For Cams and Flyers, honestly, I feel like Flared A skill plus Assassin Strike plus this weapon when it instant special may be a decent build. That's a lot of immediate damage. Just be sure to bring some debuffers to always get that -3 cooldown. Alright, it's gonna be it for this video. Have fun with the Tempest Trials, and there will be another when 2024 starts. A lot of orbs to go farm, but so many banners are on the way. Good luck, everyone. Thank you for watching, have fun with Claude, and I will see you guys in the next video.